I get to do it.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Now I can do it, because this is the watch-along for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. I started this channel with number 1, I then went on to watch number 2. Now it's up to number 3. I did a fantastic video, if you'd like to check it out, with Deandra Laser and Lito Velasco in the week, where we chatted about Elm Street, discussed our favourite moments from Dream Warriors, all leading up to today. This is my Freddy week, where I watch one of my favourites of the franchise. It all goes a bit questionable from here on in, but it should make for a good debate nonetheless when the time comes. So today we are watching Dream Warriors, 1987 movie directed by Chuck Russell and based on the story and script by Wes Craven and Bruce Wagner. This one almost went in a very, very dark direction had the original script been used in its entirety, but it was tweaked and changed a little bit along the way to make a very interesting premise, which I will talk about and comment on throughout the watch along. Just a couple of little shout outs before I get this underway. I am finally wearing my Nightmare on Elm Street 3 shirt that I bought from Hell on Shirts, a tremendous company. I've seen them at the For the Love of Horror conventions. They do some great stuff. We bought some Killer Clowns pajamas not long back. Some really, really good items on that site. Check them out on Instagram. Their website will be full of new products and some offers, which will no doubt be a massive benefit to any horror movie fan, because when you get them through the post, they look like this. They look fantastic. There's a great back print as well, which is perfect for the channel. I did show that earlier on in my social media. So yeah, please go check out Hell on Shirts, who are very much plastering their product over today's video. And also a shout out, I have a nice cup of black coffee here in my little Hit the Bricks mug from Davey Deathray. Please check him out on YouTube and Instagram. Some really good horror videos, good content there. If you like your rankings, your deep dives and discussions into all things horror, he will have something for you on his channel. Fantastic guy, great content. So, popcorn at the ready, coffee to keep me awake, because God forbid I fall asleep at any point during this. Not that this movie would ever send me to sleep, of course. So let's go. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 from 1987. Edgar Allan Poe. I watched this movie when I was, I think, 12. And it was the third movie I watched in the series, but not in order. I really like the score in this. I thought they strayed very, very far away from the original score in the second one, which was a bit strange. This one's sort of more of a return to form. I've been fascinated with the musical side of horror since speaking to John Massari and to Lito Velasco. This was composed by Angelo Badalamenti. I think I've said that right. This is a guy that worked with David Lynch on Twin Peaks and other such works. I always wanted to build this house in this way. I've never really got round to it. I do have a doll's house, which I've been allowed to construct in whatever way I wish, as long as I keep the internal structure, but it's not quite from scratch like this one. This is something I'd love to do. I do have a little miniature figure of this house up there somewhere. That's a nasty way to stay awake. Although, I did actually try to stay awake like that for a WrestleMania one year, and it backfired because I didn't sleep all night and then I had college in the morning. They really go with the absent parent in this, the sort of uncaring parent. I thought they didn't do that in number 2. Jesse's parents were very caring, they just didn't understand, whereas Kristen's mom is just not interested in the slightest. This is actually my favourite part of the movie. This dream sequence. Me and Lito discussed it. He likes certain elements of this dream. I just think this opening sequence is terrifying. It's classic Elm Street. That little girl strikingly resembles the young Maggie in Freddy's Dead. Obviously, it's not the same one because as years pass and she'll have been older, but it's a really good likeness. They always seem to pick this very similar looking children for Freddy's victims. It's quite unnerving. Like I've said before, Nightmare on Elm Street gets a pass for bad decisions because you're dreaming, you can't prevent it. I've said that in the last 2 watch-alongs I've done. This is the best bit. This line here from the little girl. That's horror. That's good horror. Leto makes reference to this bit when you... I mean, there's a really subtle shadow on the wall here. There, that's fantastic. That's so good. But this bit where he flies around the corner was scary to me as a kid. I definitely reacted to this. It's a bit of a hash of the Nancy up the stairs kind of thing. Oh, there he is. That's badass. I watched on the Elm Street documentary, the Never Sleep Again documentary, they mentioned they created this awful looking child for her to hold when she looks down at her. And they said it was too scary, so they went with the skull. I was like, how can it be too scary? You know, this is a horror movie. I actually really wish I didn't know that, because I would have loved to have seen that as in place of it. It's the first sort of dream within a dream that we get, which I think is really effective, because you never know, you never feel safe if you wake up. Eesh. But actually that happens quite a bit in this whole making it look like they've done it themselves. No, it's messing with them. I said this to Jeffrey Reddick about the Final Destination series. Initially, Death was trying to make it look as though it was them taking their own life or somebody else had done it. Freddy really does that in this. Makes it a lot more difficult for people to believe them. Lawrence Fishburne. And was this his first role? I need to research that, actually. He joins the list with Johnny Depp as having mega careers after Nightmare on Elm Street. Jennifer. I saw a few comments saying that Dr. Gordon's character isn't really that strong, but I quite like his role in this. I think he's sympathetic enough, but he's also firm enough at the same time. He doesn't just crumble. My second favourite scene in the movie, very close to being my favourite. Got a great scream, Patricia Arquette. Oof. She got both of them then. Hell yeah. I said on the DeAndre and Leto video that was like, as a wrestling fan, it was like hearing a wrestler's music play after they've been gone for ages and the big pop. That was Nancy's entrance there. That was fantastic. What a brilliant way to reintroduce her. She's grown up so much in 3 years. I'd never really noticed this when I watched it as a kid. But yeah, they really show how mature she's become. The grey hair is very subtle as well in this. It's not as obvious. I actually like this part of the movie as well with the nun. Again, that sort of, from comments I've read, some people said that they really need that, but I think it's quite important. You get that first glimpse into the backstory beyond the initial crimes. He wasn't Lawrence Fishburne in this, he was Larry Fishburne, wasn't he? He's a good actor, Philip. You never hear from the guy that played Philip, and you never hear from the guy that played Dr. Gordon. I've never seen either of them. This lump over here. This lump over here. Coolest character ever. Do it so I don't have to look at your ugly face all the time. I love you too. What a dude. No, it's not Larry Fishburne's first. He did quite a bit before this. I forgot he did Colour Purple, so I should have known that. Joey! He's such a turd, him. Can't stand him. He looks like a mechanic. But a bad one, a corrupt one, not a good one. Did you notice anything strange?
No, they've gotten worse since I took away your credit cards.
I'm serious.
Yeah, don't f*** with Nancy. I have used the popsicle stick effect on my roof. I don't remember computers that old, but I remember them looking slightly more advanced than that. All the games you played used to be sort of typed games. You'd write what you were doing and it would be a platform game, but not visual. It would tell you where you were going. Good times. I like this movie as well because it takes you away from the home, and it's like, well, if you're in a controlled environment like a hospital, they can help you and can look after you, and you're still not safe there. You're actually worse because they keep putting you asleep, and they don't understand. And I just think that isolation is perfect. This is a great image with the trike. The blood stripes as well. Little bit of a throwback to 2 with the melting. Back to 1428 with you, Kristen. I can't believe they used a real rancid pig for this. What a way to immerse your cast in the experience. See, that's a jump scare without the need for the big loud bang, the big loud music note. It's just as effective. I think that house is just as creepy with the lights on as it is with them off. Oh, it's straight out of Tremors. I thought it was really funny how they said it looked like a giant phallus. I never thought about that, obviously, as a kid. Again, I was just immersed in it. This is really cool, though. You finally realise that she can pull people into the dreams. I've always found this to be a really nice little twist to explore. I hate this bit. Eesh, on the hand, I don't know why that always goes through me. This is a cool bit. Ah, that little zoom as well. That's a really underrated scene when he realises who it is. I like her character in this, Kristen, because she's very vulnerable and naive, and she's not over the top badass or aggressive or anything like that. She's just sort of dealing with it, and I think that's a good style of final girl. When I watched Never Sleep Again, and Priscilla Pointer thought she was a good person and her character was nice and she couldn't understand why everyone hated her, I felt so bad for her because she plays this role so well and she seems like such a lovely lady.
I get out of here, I'm going to Los Angeles to be an actress. I'm going to be on TV.
Yeah, lifestyle of the rich and psychotic.
So they're all damaged, but they all sort of... There's like a bit of a love-hate thing going on with them. It's like they do care for one another, but they just bitch all the time amongst one another because they're so frustrated.
The fact that we all dreamt about this guy before we ever met doesn't seem to impress anybody.
That's a great line. We all dreamt about him before we met and you're just not interested. Bang on. See, I find these games bizarre. I sort of got near to one once, but I just didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Night, Max.
You don't see a lot of Larry Fishburne in this. He's sort of just... He's a good guy, he cares about the kids, but they never really go deep into his character. He's just likeable, and that's about it, really.
Best Thai food in Springwood. Of course, it's the only Thai food in Springwood.
I used to be like them, Neil. I know what they're going through.
So do I.
No.
Told me they were survivors. And they are.
I'm sorry, Nancy. The answer's no.
Well, that's a passion killer. It was all going so well. And now to an absolutely stunning scene. Probably, I think, I would say this is in the top deaths of the entire franchise. And by top, I mean like probably top 4. I mean, this in itself, the face morphing into him is fabulous. The stop motion is glorious. I love stop motion in horror. I think it's so effective, so creepy and unsettling. It's the unnatural movements. But this is so inventive. That's nasty. Oh, Kincaid, you should know better, my friend. That is such a sickening image. I mean, it's even when you watch him just walking on his own, it looks really creepy because of how jerky his movements are, like this human marionette. But I mean, it's the very thought of your tendons being pulled up like that is horrific. And that shot of the foot used to make me squirm when I was younger. She's doing an appalling job on reception, by the way. Panic music. Is it Jennifer or is it Taryn that screams Philip here, and it's so blood-curdling and effective? He's done this before. It could be Patricia Arquette, actually. There you go. God, she's good at that. That's a good image. It reminds me of the one they did later on Wes Craven's New Nightmare over the freeway. Devastating death, that.
I want us to all get our feelings out, Neil.
He wasn't strong enough, so he got wasted. That's all.
That's all. So, I think we're all missing the point here.
Oh, Sims.
Sleepwalking accident, nothing more.
Cowardly thing. That's an empty thing. He let himself down. He let all of us down.
It was murder. How much longer are you going to go on blaming your dreams for your own weakness?
Later, how much longer you gonna keep?
There's a great frustration being caused by this. You feel their pain and their anger. It's brilliantly written and acted. Look at the panic on Kincaid's face. It's...
Fuck yourself a night in the quiet room, mister. Now sit down. Ain't nobody gonna fuck you.
Oh, see, I like where Taryn sort of wishes she could do something to help him. They've been arguing from the start, but you can tell there's like, they can relate. Keep singing, my friend.
Thanks, Max.
See, in a way, he's the best one there. Because he doesn't understand what they're going through. He might not even believe it, but he humours them and he lets them do what they need to do. Oh, I hate him.
Can't be good news coming from... I'll go straight to Max.
Now, who's going to take the word of a crazy junkie chick like you?
I love a deleted scene where Max kicks the fuck out of him. It's also worth noting how many times they show the varying ways that these kids try and stay awake. You know, the eating coffee raw and doing this kind of thing. And it's crazy because it looks like self-harm, and it's not. It's trying to stay out of the dream, stay out of the nightmare. So again, it's masked. This is unbelievable, this scene. This used to make me laugh when I was younger. Brilliant. It's so funny that I can never not laugh at that. Here we go. Oh, so good. Fantastic. Knocked me headphones out. I was that excited. Probably the greatest improvised line certainly in horror history. What's good is this gave Dr. Gordon just another layer, because he was focused on the religious side of this, and it allowed Nancy to help the kids. I think this situation with Sister Mary Helena did a lot of good for Craig Wasson's character. I think Dr. Gordon really benefited from this.
Excuse me, sister.
I always thought that was strange because he went, just hold on a moment. You would look at him and go, who the hell are you talking to? She wasn't really there. I guess any kind of behaviour could be forgiven at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I'm hungry.
You eat what she's prepared for you, sir.
This is my Malaysian dream doll.
I want to get one of those, actually. It'd be a nice little ornament for the new studio. It's kind of sad how it takes a couple of deaths and him being at the end of his rope for him to believe, but I guess it's not exactly believable, is it? This is a great scene. I love this when they realise that she's describing the guy that they all are seeing.
There won't be enough of us left to call it food.
Okay, listen.
That's a good line as well.
He wears a dirty brown hat.
Love that.
He's horribly burned. He has razors on his right hand. His name is Freddy Krueger Brents. He almost killed me.
Why is he after us?
Yeah. What did we do?
It's not you. Your parents. My parents. They burned him alive.
Anything?
Oh, sure. That's the sort of thing parents tell their kids. Good night, darling. Say your prayers. And oh, by the way, your father and I torched some maniac last night.
She has a point.
You sound like Peter Pan.
It's a little bit Peter Panish, really, when you think about it. When I was younger, I used to try and follow this pendulum and see if it would send me to sleep. I don't know why I would put myself through that, but I guess I wanted a dream power.
You find yourselves getting tired.
I'm not getting drowsy on camera. I suppose it would be easier for them when they're so sleep deprived and they're trying their damnedest to stay awake all the time. This is almost like we were going to allow you to sleep now. This is your moment. How bizarre that you can wake up in the same place. It's like as soon as I dream, I wake up somewhere bloody stupid, like the middle of a field full of cows or something. I never wake up in my dream in my bedroom, which I suppose is a good thing because it'd freak me out if Amy was gone or something. Joey letting his lower brain dictate. I love these old school effects.
In my dreams, I can walk. In my dreams, I am the wizard master.
So if it wasn't for Freddy, he'd love going to sleep. He'd be napping all day. He nearly smacked him in the face then.
Hey, check out Karen.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful. And bad.
Where the hell did all that gear come from? She did not wake up with it. I love how this music turns in a minute when you realise. Oh, I was listening to the soundtrack the other week actually, and I knew straight away when that bit was coming. I'm glad they didn't go with the half woman, half Freddy thing because that was hideous. They didn't deepen his voice in that scene, I noticed. It's almost like the original Robert Englund voice coming through. Usually they deepen it a lot. So it's more guttural and sort of otherworldly. That was almost like they forgot. Cool image though.
Where's Joey?
Freddy's got him.
I've always gone with that thing that he can't be in two places at once. He's got to go like per dream. So if he's in Joey's dream, they're cool to do whatever they want. But as soon as he's finished with Joey, he can then go on and terrorise them. I think when you look at each film, that seems to be apparent. Although he does address that later on. I will sort of come back to that.
Code blue. It was purposely conducted without my knowledge.
Unusual steps were...
There's a reason for that.
Because
Young lady, your opinion is of no interest to me. Furthermore, according to Dr. Sims, you've been creating panic among the patients.
That's not true.
I want you out of here today.
Not messing, is he, Dr. Carver?
I'm sorry, Neil. I'm afraid you brought it on yourself.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Please just try to help me.
He was more than just a doctor then, wasn't he? He was like quite a good personal friend to them. I suppose you've got to be in that job, really. Sims is more sort of regimental, whereas he is closer to them and wants to understand them. He's never really unlikable at any point. I like this backstory.
The worst of the criminally insane were locked up in here like animals. The young girl on the staff was accidentally locked in here over the holidays.
It's your worst nightmare, that.
And with child. That girl was Amanda Krueger. Her child, Freddy. The bastard son of 100 maniacs.
Good line. Well delivered as well by Nan Martin. She is suitably sinister, isn't she? I like the fact she's haunting the place where she went through all that trauma. Like, you know, she can't sort of let go of it until he's laid to rest. That's great. I love that. Again, she's got to be dreaming there, because, yeah, you'd notice that, wouldn't you? That's classic Freddy.
Only one man knows. And it's time for him to talk.
God, she's so good in this, Patricia Arquette.
All right, everybody.
I always think her face there, it's like, what are you talking about? I actually think she starts understanding there's something dodgy going on, but there's nothing she can do about it. So she just sort of maintains that authority figure. I think she breaks at that point, realises they are screwed in a way that she can't imagine.
Hi, Daddy.
Yeah. What a man. He's wearing security uniform as well. I need to look on one of the fan wikis or something to find out exactly what happened to him after he left the force. He's being such a house here because he said he's lost too much, but she's like right there. He lost his wife, yeah, and obviously if you go off the assumption that they had a child, if you go look at the deleted scene in the first one, but he's still got one child left, and he obviously distances himself from her, so really he's lost her as well by his own choice.
You gotta come out of Wayne's Kristen. She had a total shit attack. Sims doped her up.
He doesn't half grow some stones in this scene.
My name is Paul Gordon. Pleased to meet you. You're not with me. Now listen to me. I don't know if you care whether Nancy lives or dies, but I do.
Just doing laps of the quiet room just to stay awake. That's another little method. It'll have only been a cheap scotch.
I'll reimburse you. Here, you can keep my driver's license. I'll be back.
Right before you get in the car.
Max, I need to see Kristen. You don't understand.
Look, Miss Thompson, save your breath. Dr. Sims gave me specific instructions. No one gets to see Kristen, especially you.
Oh, Larry.
But Max, she needs me. She's in...
They're in the TV.
I bet he has a horrible job, really. That's happening to all the kids every day, and you got to go home and then get back to work the next day and just deal with a new set of faces. Look at the TV stain on the wall. I think that's brilliant. Nobody's even painted over it. It's you always left with that reminder of what's happened to them. It's quite twisted, really. That is quite nasty.
You know nobody would ever find it in that place. All right, it's deep in the heart of the place.
I look forward to one day doing one of these live. It doesn't have to be, I suppose, one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, but I think maybe my goal is to get to, say, Freddy's Dead and do that live. So hopefully you guys, if you, just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed and hit that notification bell, please do. It would do me a world of good and helps me do more of these things and gets a nice wide audience for a eventual live stream and live watch along of these where you can all join me. Kincaid with the coolest line ever.
Me too.
Let's go kick the
motherfuckers' ass all over Dreamland. Yeah.
Only the sound of your heart beating. Picture yourself there with Kristen.
It's an interesting dream practice. Picture yourself in a situation, and then when you go to sleep, you just transfer it into your dream, so you're there. That's plausible, I suppose. I have the ability to go back into a dream that I was having. Again, though, this is another movie. The first three, they're so minimal with how much you see Freddy. They don't overkill it. I think this movie shows him a bit more, but you've got to wait quite a while before you start getting a lot of Freddy, and I think that's a reward, really. I think some of the later ones, he was in it too much.
Just thought I'd wait for you.
Get to sleep now.
She's nicer in this dream. She smiles at her and she's like really light-hearted and everything, whereas in the first one she was like, get in bed, you know, what are you doing up? And this is a different kind of situation. Obviously she follows it up with a hug. You can tell this is a dream. I think that like she's seeing her mum like she wishes she was. Freddy in the tuxedo was one of the publicity shots for this, if I remember. Taryn's death actually scared me when I was a kid. Something about the fingers and the needles on the fingers really unsettled me as a child. It was the one I sort of dreaded happening. Jake's bar. Does that have significance? I feel like that's got significance. I've not watched this movie for a couple of years, so I do forget things. I used to think this was Freddy. I think it's supposed to sort of symbolise him to a degree. A dark presence with the hat. See, listen to the guttural voice. It's different to before. Amazing. Ugh. It's so nasty. The veins going up her face. That's a nasty kill. But I spoke on the video the other day about how he uses the character traits and hobbies or interests or vices against them in the dream. He does it with Will here. He obviously just done that there with Taryn. He uses a drug past against her. The Wizard Master thing here. The puppets with Philip. And the TV and the movies with Jennifer. It's just everything is tailored because of their personalities. You can't just have random kids in Nightmare on Elm Street. They've all got to have something about them. That first voice he uses is very unusual. It's like it's just really strange. And then the one that when he says back in the saddle is Freddy. It's such an unusual bit, this. And the fact he looks a bit like Harry Potter as well used to be quite novel. A little squelch then as it comes out. That cot there.
What is that? I don't know.
It's unusual how there'd be a cot there if they're in Nancy's old house. Unless that's going back further than the years we've seen. Kinky. The braces are unusual. It looks like he should be in the Warriors. Straight to Freddy hell. It's just the most dangerous looking place in the world. Anybody in the comments want to tell me, are there really used car lots like that, junkyards, to that degree, that are so big and vast that you've got to sort of drive through a maze? I'd love to know, because obviously that's alien to me. Wasn't it a caddy that they drove away on in number one? I'm not very good with cars. I wouldn't want to lift the trunk in case a whole bloody lot came down on me.
You're about to attend a funeral.
See, this is the only thing that pisses me off about Gordon. He's literally, he could have let John Saxon go there and we could have had Donald Thompson somewhere else down the line. Instead, he wants help digging, and because of that, Well, you know, it's a really great boiler room design. And I like this with the teddy bear as well. Here, I think this is an underrated bit. Or is it a doll? It's a doll, isn't it? Very cool. His makeup's good in this, actually. I still don't think it's as good as 2, though. I love 2. Ah, it's iconic. There's a few occasions in this where they don't doctor his voice. That's what I'd be afraid of. This is cool. Was it Jason and the Argonauts that got this from? This effect? Meh. This is where he does the spreading himself out. Still in the same dream. This is very dreamlike, though. The one thing I love about Nightmare on Elm Street is how they make that macabre, weird, out of place feeling, like all those faces in all the mirrors, and a really cool way of unveiling Joey's dream power. It's weird, really. I never contemplated that that would be his power. Just totally naive. When I first watched this, I was like, oh my god, yeah, why did that never cross my mind? I heard this on the soundtrack the other day as well, and as soon as this music came on, I was like, no, I don't like this. And there it is. God damn it, I hate that. That's an amazing visual though there, and that with that boom in as well, that was so effective. Perfect. One last valiant, heroic act with his own glove as well. It's too late for her, my friend. That's good.
I won't let you die. I won't let you. I'm gonna dream it with forever and ever.
It's still just as bad as when I first watched it, that moment. It's one of the worst, most gut-punching deaths.
Hear my cry, O God. Listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth.
You were his mother.
There we go. That's how you wrap it up. I would have called credits at that point. That's just my opinion. I mean, it's an effective finish. So that was A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. That is my second favourite of the franchise. I will go into my rankings once I've watched all of these, and then we can do like a big tier list or whatever at the end of it. But I absolutely love that movie. I think it's one of the most perfect sequels you could ever have. I ended up resenting the sequels that followed because of just how perfect I thought that finish was. I understand why they did, for the commercial reasons, and obviously pairing up with Dokken for the soundtrack brought this franchise into a more commercial place, and they realized just how much money could be made from it. So I do understand why they continued it, and I'm glad they did, because I suppose it gives us more to watch, more to talk about, and the more Freddy the better, I suppose. But that, if you were going to talk about what, how I would have finished the franchise or structured it, it would have gone 1, 3, and then 7. Maybe there'd have been room in between for something that combined elements of the other movies. But I just think that's a brilliant movie. I think it's Fantastic how they experiment with the dream powers, how in your dreams you can do things that you can't do in real life. That's a very real thing. My mother has a ridiculous one where she puts her hands on the floor and is able to swing her legs through and that's the only way she can walk and run, which is outrageous. Not only is it anatomically impossible, but it's hilarious to think of. But yeah, they play on those powers that you have in your dream, those sort of otherworldly things that you are able to do in your sleep that obviously you can't carry into the real world. And of course, if you're battling a demon or an entity in your dream that is threatening you, you were able to use those powers. And I think that was a great twist. I know that Wes Craven's original script was very dark, very profane, very vulgar. It was almost like Nightmare on Elm Street mixed with Last House on the Left. It was extremely close to the bone in the way it was written. John Saxon and Robert Englund had also written versions of the script, which I think are really interesting and worth a read if you go and do some research on this movie. I like the little quirks of this movie. I love the little house that she builds. That becomes iconic in itself. I think Freddy's look is good. He's a nice mixture of evil, but with a slight twisted comedy in there. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's not too dark. Obviously, he almost goes in stages. He is dark and evil in the first, he is dark, evil, and terrifying in the second, and he is dark, evil, terrifying, and a little bit sadistically funny in the third. They have this nice balance as he goes along. It's just obviously later on they sort of swing one way a little too much. So this is a nice balance. Acting is fantastic. The cast are tremendous. The characters are very likable, very believable. You feel bad for them. You are rooting for them. I always say in a horror movie, you should want the characters to succeed. You should feel for them because that's where the horror comes from. You feel for their situation, and that is absolutely apparent here. There's some great iconic lines in this. Obviously, Welcome to Primetime is what makes this channel what it is, and again was an amazing improvised line from Robert Englund. The fact that Nancy is so heavily involved in this is a wonderful thing too. It's just devastating at the end, but of course if you look at this movie as being the final movie, it's the perfect way for it to go out. You get John Saxon back in this as well. There is legacy characters in amongst it, and I think it really strengthens it as well. It brings it back around from the sort of detachment number 2 had. As good as 2 I think is, and it's got better every time I've watched it. I think this one is the true sequel to the original. Great music in this, great score, very creepy dream sequences, particularly at the beginning, and a lot of messages in there about vulnerability and finding strength. You can really write a piece on this movie that would be quite deep and thought-provoking. There's a lot in this movie that I love. There's not much I don't like. In fact, I don't think there's anything I really don't like about this movie at all. I think perhaps the only criticism I might have is that sometimes his voice sounds a bit too light and not as deep and frightening as it does in other scenes. It's a little inconsistent. I think the effects for the time are very good. The marionette sequence is absolutely fantastic. Genuinely one of the scariest moments in the franchise. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different when I go on from this because I'm not as big a fan of the next 2 installments. But it'll be interesting to talk about them. Maybe a revisit. I might be able to sort of find things I like a little more than I did the previous times I saw them. But that is my watch along for number 3. I've been looking forward to doing this. That's 3 now on the channel. 1, 2, and 3. We started from 1. That's what kicked off Primetime Mitch. Now we're on 3. We're on the way to that big rankings video at the end. But I'm going to watch them all before I do that. Hopefully one of these can be live at some point because it'd be really nice to get some people watching this with me at the same time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying this. Thank you for being part of this Freddy week for me. Like I said, I had a fantastic discussion with Deandra Laser and Lito Velasco about Nightmare on Elm Street and the great fan films and the Fredheads documentary. If you'd like to check that out, the links are in the description below and up there as well. Drop me a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video. There'll be plenty more videos en route. Number 4 will come up at some point in the next couple of months. And if you have any thoughts and feelings on this movie or on my opinions on this movie, drop them in the comments below. I really appreciate hearing all of your opinions and seeing your interactions with Primetime Mitch. So, thank you, Robert. From Primetime Mitch, I'm Mitch Cassidy. Don't fall asleep.